My stepfather, Chuck Bales, when I was growing up, he was the head of public relations at the University of Tulsa. But before and after that, he worked at newspapers. And he's the one that got me reading a newspaper every morning. Of course, I like the baseball box scores more than anything, but so I got in the habit of reading every day, being around academics, being around newspaper people. And it was just kind of a natural progression in college to go into journalism. And then when I got out of the Army, I sought a job and I've been in the newspaper ever since. So he was probably my biggest inspiration. I probably wouldn't even have gone to journalism without him. And in the food world, the most memorable interview I ever had was with Wolfgang Puck. Because he came to Tulsa, he had for a brief time a restaurant in Tulsa, and he came down one night, and it was a private thing, but it was packed, and he was signing his cookbooks and everything. They said I could get an interview with him. So my wife and I sat there for, I don't know, probably 2 hours while he's going around the room and everything. And at one point he came over, he said, "Okay, you ready to interview?" And I said, "Yeah, that'd be great." He said, "Can I just sit with you?" I said, "Sure." And he goes to the server, he said, "Bring me a couple of bottles of my wine." And they did. And for the next, golly, hour and a half, he talked to us, and it was like we were the only people in the room. My very first job out of college while I was waiting to get drafted was in Miami, Oklahoma. And Jess Heck was the editor. And we had a sports guy, a visitation lady, and me to do everything else. And so, and he was tough. He was actually the toughest editor I had in my whole career. But probably, you know, obviously I needed it, you know, right out of school. And I'd write him letters when I was in there, and he'd say, you know, "You're good enough, you can stick with it, you know, you can make a living." So I did. So then when I did get out and got a job at the World on the sports staff, Bill Connors and Phil Parrish, who are both in the Hall of Fame, were my first editors, and they were, and you know, almost everyone who goes through who has gone through the Tulsa World for 30 years or so there would say Bill Connors was their main inspiration to stick with it and go forward. He was a unique person.